Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 10th episode of our Oreninc podcast series, where I'm joined again today by Mickey Fulp, the Mercenary Geologist. We're sitting here in Vancouver and in our hotel room doing the interview together, and we're joined via Skype by our editor, Paul Harris. Mickey, thanks for joining us. Paul, thanks for making the time.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Morning.
And we laid out a little agenda again, as always. We have a couple ideas and things we want to talk about today. And obviously, one of the topics of conversation out here in Vancouver and in the mining space this week is obviously the rise of the copper price and the base metal prices in general. And Mickey's going to give us his insight on the developments there and what has happened in recent days and why the copper price accelerated and broke through some resistance there. Paul is going to chime in regard to the copper price and the copper price stock price developments and the gold price and why the gold stocks aren't moving in comparison to the copper stocks. And I'm the party pooper to a degree because I'll be talking about some really bad numbers.
The tail that wags the dog.
Yeah, no, I'm the glass half empty guy today.
Oh, okay.
Just looking at the numbers, we discussed this earlier. Would it make sense to close the market for whole August and just come back September 1st and see what's going on? So I just quickly set the mood here with some really bad numbers we've seen last week here at Oreninc, and we've had the second lowest number in terms of deals opened last week, with a total number of only 19 deals opened. And it's only been beaten by our July 6 numbers, which was 16 deals open. So we're trading with the market activity is at a year low, and overall dollars raised is a 28-week low. So yeah, year to date, lowest it could be. Of course, it's part of seasonality. You see it here in Vancouver. It's not very busy. Coffee places are half empty. People are gone. People are at their cottages. So obviously market activity has slowed down. Total dollars raised, the average size has dropped again also to 28-week lows. Like of the 19 deals, the average volume or average size was only like $1 million, flat, like 1.05 million, which is nothing. That means again that the quality of deals in general has decreased. And what we do see, however, we see a lot of deals closed. So it seems like people are cleaning out shop before August, wrapping things up before probably August is going to be the real slow month of the year here. What sort of makes me positive about the market is that we do see here, or I did see here in the last few days while I was here in Vancouver, very active, or companies being very active in the background, setting up deals for September, RTOs, a couple IPOs, or companies I've talked to. So going back to my original message that I gave my presentation in Vancouver recently, we're going to see a very busy fall in my opinion. And Mickey and Paul, I'm sure you're witnessing something similar in that regard.
Well, it's been sell in May, go away has morphed into the summer doldrums. Venture Exchange had July volumes at lows in total since late January, early February of 2016 when the market bottomed. We have averaged so far in July 47 million shares traded a day, and that's something on the order of 30 to 40% that we're trading per day just a year ago in the middle of the summer doldrums. We'll see what happens coming back in after Labor Day. I'm hopeful, but metal prices remain strong. So just extended vacations for everybody at this point.
Paul, do you have anything to add on that one?
I think in general, yes, but I agree with Mickey. But I think there is a lot of activity going on, sort of not under the table, but out of view. There's a lot of site visits going on or being planned in the next month or so. So companies are getting investor interest. They are lining things up. They are doing a lot of work. So I think that falls in line with your comment, Kai, that the fall is going to be very busy. I myself traveling all over the place, visiting projects, being invited on site visits, Canada, US, and elsewhere. So, my agenda is full. It seems like a lot of mining analysts and investors or institutional investors are participating in these events. So there is a lot going on, even if that's not necessarily out in the sort of public domain.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's a good point to end that piece of our topic today. One point Mickey mentioned is that steady metal prices. Gold is fighting with the 1260 mark still. It's been fighting with it for a couple of days now. But our hot topic of discussion today is the copper price. Obviously.
Yeah, so this is within a broader uptick of all industrial metals. Iron ore is up. Zinc is holding steady, just above $1.30. But the real mover, and we've been waiting for this, expecting this, did not perhaps expect it to happen in the middle of the summer doldrums, but that's copper. Yesterday, it hit its high since May of 2015, so that's 26-plus month high at 287. More importantly, I think, is it's broke this very strong resistance it had at 275. It's for the year, it's mainly been range bound, let's say, between 250, 255 to 270, 275 on occasion. It's tested both the highs and lows in that range. And over the last 2 or 3 days, it's just completely broken through. It's up another penny this morning. Since May the 8th, we've got a 16% gain in whatever that is. That would be about 10 weeks perhaps. And that's within an overall year-to-date gain of only 15%. So it's all happened in this period of time, driven by stronger Chinese demand, stronger U.S. demand. Scrap copper is being has been increasingly used. So from my point of view, it's onward and upward for copper. And we've seen the copper companies respond very strongly to that this week. Freeport's up on the major side, the big boy really, pure copper play, Freeport. And on the smaller end of it would be an explorer and developer that I cover is Trilogy Metals, is up something on the order of 60% since late May.
Wow. Okay. And Paul, you wanted to touch on exactly what Mickey just touched on, as well as like copper stocks are moving in line or even stronger than the copper price. But we've seen gold price also appreciate quite a bit actually to the 1260 mark here lately. But the gold stocks, although they had some really good and strong numbers, looking at Barrick for example today, they're not moving really.
Yes, I just want to sort of step back a little bit. I mean, Mickey talked about copper moving through resistance and putting it into sort of dollars per ton figure. The resistance level was about $6,000 a ton, and copper resisted that for a long time. And then at the start of this week, it went through, and now it's over $6,300 a ton. So it's been a huge push past that. And seeing, copper's being a sort of go-to commodity again. Earlier this week, Chile's state copper company, Codelco, the world's largest copper producer, raised or did a $2.75 billion bond issue in New York. It was 5 times oversubscribed with a coupon of 3.8%. So people are getting back into the industrial metals. Moving to your question, Kai, yeah, gold is moving up, has moved up considerably or quite well in the last week or two. But as you mentioned, that's not really translating into movements in the gold stocks. A few good names have shown some life, some energy, but generally speaking, the upward movement in the gold price hasn't been reflected in stock prices. I guess the analysts I've sort of been reading or speaking to don't really have a clear-cut answer for why that is, why there's that disconnect. We've seen zinc companies respond to the zinc price rise. We've seen copper companies respond to the copper price rise. there's some kind of disconnect or lag for gold stocks?
I would probably chime in there and say maybe it's because a couple of weeks ago we were pushing $1,200 and looking that maybe gold would break lower resistance. So this rise in gold is only occurred over the last, if memory serves, the last half of July or so. So it's a relatively new move. One other thing, I need to make a correction. I did numbers in my head, and that doesn't always work. Trilogy Metals is up nearly 85% since May 25th. So pardon me for that mistake.
Yeah, that's almost a double, yeah.
So what do you expect for the next 4 weeks to happen in general? It's going to be slower in terms of market activity. I'm assuming the numbers of shares traded are going to be equal or even less to what we've seen already on the venture exchange. I'm making a prediction here that the deals open that will stay at this level for at least another 3-4 weeks here, with hovering around the 20 mark or hovering between 15 and 20 deals open a week.
I think we all hope so, because that becomes buying opportunities on good stocks. So I don't bemoan the fact that we've had a severe summer doldrum season, at least on my end of it, which would be the venture exchange, the advanced stage juniors, and the new deals.
No, it makes my life as a newsletter writer obviously easier as well, to come back in September and pick a couple of nice stocks. And actually have one couple.
Or pick them now.
Yeah.
Pick them at the bottom now. Things that you're confident will rise in what we would expect to be a rising market after the
investors just have a little more have to have a little patience for the next few weeks. But now would be a good time actually to probably position yourself.
I think that's right. I think August is going to be quiet because we're going into main vacation season, both in North America and Europe. So, I think it's all looking ahead to Labor Day and then sort of charging again after Labor Day.
Yeah, no, my broker will be traveling for 2 weeks, and I'm assuming everybody else will be. So I thought July was slow. For some reason, it felt much slower than the last few years, even during the bear market. And I can't wait for September to arrive, to be quite honest.
I can. I'm going on vacation.
See, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
No. Let's end our session here as always with our number of the week sort of thing. Mickey, why don't you start us off here?
Well, my number is a composite number, and that's 7 of 10. So the S&P 500 has hit its all-time high in 7 of the last 10 trading days. It's up 1.7% during that period of time. Quite a robust move for an index. And this is despite very low volumes in the middle of the summer doldrums.
Paul, what's your number this week?
My number is, I guess it's a ratio, 8,700 to 1. And that's the on-the-street exchange rate in Venezuela, dollars, Venezuelan bolivars. So I think the official rate is something like 10 to 1, but if you've got dollars, you're getting 8,700 for each greenback.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so my number of the week, I mentioned it earlier, is 42 deals closed, and that's for me. It's twice as high as the last 2 weeks actually. That shows me that we'll have a very slow August. So as I said, I'm the glass half empty guy this week. So we'll have a very slow August. Everybody's wrapping up their deals. Everybody's making sure that by July 31st the books are closed, and everybody will be gone. So that's the end of our session today. Thanks for listening in. We'll make an effort to set up the next interview for the next 2 or 3 weeks again, and we'll see how August is treating everybody and how things are moving, especially on the base metal side. I'm quite excited to look at some copper stocks there again, and also see if we can find some winners in the gold space over the next couple of weeks. So thanks again, Paul. Thanks, Mickey.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Talk to you soon.